Good day, everybody. Buenos dias a todos. Today we are going to do a review of the rhetorical analysis, particularly using the SOAPStone strategy. Now, the SOAPStone strategy is really convenient for analyzing the rhetoric of a speaker or writer. Now, if you recall, rhetoric is the art of persuasion, getting people to think the way that we do. So let's go ahead and start with the S, subject. Now, the essence subject is quite frankly exactly what it sounds like. You're trying to figure out, what is this person actually saying to me? What are they writing about? What is the thing, the topic, or the idea that they are trying to get across? The O in SOAPStone stands for occasion. Now, sometimes students get tripped up with this one. Occasion in its most simplest form is the event or the time or the reason that someone is speaking or writing. So it could be a meeting occasion. If there is a scheduled meeting and someone is scheduled to speak, that is their occasion. They are speaking at this meeting at a given time and also for a given purpose. In writing, it could also be the journal article that someone has presented. They wrote an article for a specific journal and that is their occasion. The A in SOAPStone brings us to audience. Now, skilled speakers and writers are well aware of who they are speaking to or writing for. Knowledge of one's audience typically allows you to meet the needs of your audience. And again, this only creates a stronger ethos or a stronger sense of credibility when we have an understanding of who our audience is. So if you're analyzing a piece of writing, question, is this meant for me? If not, who is it meant for? And the same can also be questioned with regards to speeches. Now, purpose. So writers and speakers should have a purpose. They should have a reason that they are actually speaking or writing. Where students usually kind of go wrong is they kind of confuse the O in occasion and the P for purpose. Here's how you should separate them. The O in occasion. Occasions are the setting, the time for giving the speech or for writing. Now the purpose is why. Why is this person speaking or writing? What are they trying to say? What are they trying to get across? Ultimately, what is the author trying to share with me? The second S stands for strategy. If we think back to purpose, you can almost think of the purpose as the what. What is this person trying to say? Why are they speaking? What and why? The second S, that strategy, is all about the question of how. How is a speaker or a writer imparting their argument to the audience or to the reader? Now, I think that this comes back to this logos, ethos, and pathos thing that we previously spoke to. So if you're analyzing a speech or a piece of writing that is persuasive, ask yourself, are my emotions being manipulated or at least called upon by this speaker? That, of course, would be pathos. Is the speaker or the writer building a logical argument? Are they asking me to think and consider and reason as I make up my mind about what they're presenting? And then finally, is the speaker or the author referring back to their own credibility to try and create a sense of trust, which is, of course, ethos? And finally, that leaves us with tone, the last step of a rhetorical analysis using the SOAPStone strategy. So when we think about tone, a lot of the times our brains immediately go to tone of voice. Does someone sound super passionate? Do they sound disgusted? And we hear that by the way that we regulate our vocal cords. That creates a tone in our voice. So tone is really easy when you're actually listening to or watching a speech because you're just determining how someone is using their voice. It's a bit trickier and more complicated, however, when we are talking about written work. And when we are analyzing the tone of written work, we need to be looking at author's diction. Yes, the diction meaning the author's word choice. What words are the authors choosing to use? Typically, the parts of speech that you should be really paying attention to are adjectives and verbs, because those will be the ones that most betray an author's tone towards whatever they are writing about. Keep in mind, tone is about the author. So we're not talking about how the reader feels when we're analyzing tone. We're talking about how the author feels about what he or she is writing about. And again, we go and we look at their word choice to figure out how they are feeling about what they are writing or speaking to. And that's it. That's SOAPStone. It's a great little tool for analyzing rhetoric. Again, analyzing persuasive arguments. I always encourage students to do this several times on paper to truly force oneself to acknowledge each steps in the process. The more that you do this, you will eventually be able to do it mentally, and you will start analyzing the rhetoric of speakers and of authors without actually having to write things down. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe and stay healthy.